only chance where we have become youngest entrepreneurs or maybe youngest billionaires in the IT industry. Now, once we have been talking about capacity building, now what is happening is the most important thing which I mean panelists will be discussing and sharing is new trends which are coming up in the market, because more and more IT industry is going up, more and more challenges are being there in the market. For example, cyber crimes, e-threats. Now these are the sectors which are coming up. Then basically open source or let's say database. Then what is happening is number of activities which include, which we have discussed in the morning also, animation, multimedia. Now the new technology has come is the cloud computing. Then basically we have been talking about M computing. So number of buzzwords are there in the market where basically we need a good trained skilled manpower. And the government of India is also emphasizing very much. We have been coming out with a policy where we are saying that in case somebody goes for a training which make him employable, there will be a reimbursement of fees to the tune of 10,000 rupees. That is a star policy of the government of India. Similarly, Department of Electronics and IT, from where I come, they are also basically giving a lot of funds for capacity building, both at the government level, both at the private level. Government level I am saying because for implementing e-governance project, you need to have a basic knowledge of the computer. That's the reason every state is picking up CCC course on NIELIT as a mandate course where they are saying that you pass this exam so that at least you are digitally literate. Purpose is you should know how to send a mail, how to retrieve a mail, and how to go for a connectivity of the network, or how to make small letters using the computer. So slowly there is a change in the mindset of everyone, and everybody is aware that until unless there is a capacity building, we won't be able to move forward. Because if we go through the e-governance system, we find that in e-governance system there are three pillars: people, process, and technology. We say PPT. But if you see, all the three pillars are based on capacity building. If the technologist who is designing the architecture or who is designing the design, if he doesn't have a technological background, he doesn't know what are the new platforms available in the market, how to adapt the architecture, whether it should be one single tier, two tier, three tier, he can't design that. Similarly, process. For process engineering, which is again a challenge for the government, until unless you know what IT can do, it is very difficult to design a process. Although processes are not dependent upon technology, but still you need to have background. Similarly, people, the end users are citizens, and in case citizens are not aware what they can retrieve, what are the information available, it is very difficult. I think capacity building and human resource development plays an important role in any IT initiative or in the e-governance initiative. So with these words, I think I will invite panelists who are here with us to share their views, and I will request the panelists to curtail their discussions as much as possible, because already we are lagging by 2 hours. With these words, I request.
Thank you so much. And I think in the opening remarks, you have very rightly pointed out that the fuel of the IT industry is people. In fact, this is a unique industry where at some point in the evening, the most precious assets of the company walk out of the door, and they have to ensure that the next morning the assets walk into the door. Otherwise, the value of the company is nothing. I would like to, share a few ideas with the audience, and that is that when we look at the larger perspective of human resource development for IT industry, we have to start thinking about two aspects. The first aspect is what is the availability of the human capital, and secondly, how to make sure that we have the human capital that can be immediately put to work. I think in study after study it has been shown, it has been pointed out, it has been proved that IT companies today are spending a very large amount of money, which is running into multiples of hundreds of crores, in retraining the human capital which was supposed to have already been employable out of the door. And if I can say, one of the single largest challenge that faces higher education in India is the challenge of how to make our human capital is employment ready. Now when we look at this, so what is the basic issue? The issue goes beyond the purview of even the IT industry in India, and that is something that we have to reflect. We have to reflect on how are we looking at our educational system itself. if you look at the educational supply chain, starting from K-12, we move to higher education. Isn't it true that today a lot of the topics that we discuss in our engineering colleges, even in our computer science courses, are completely outdated? If the market demand today is for Ruby on Rails or MongoDB or the cyber issues, are these topics today being taught in the colleges? The short answer to that question is no. So the discussion and the debate and the solution for how to create human capital for IT industry cannot only be centered within the IT players. So it's very important that the larger framework for education in India immediately need to get involved, which means we have to start, at the UGC level, we have to start at the college level. We have to create a framework in which each college has the flexibility to be able to offer courses that are linked to what is needed in the market. And the biggest beneficiary of this is going to be the IT industry. Nowhere else in the world, I travel all over the world, we see the IT companies investing a disproportionately large amount of money in training. So that is, submission that I think we have to make. Okay. The second most important thing is that we have to ensure that there is a process and there is a mechanism. Because today, when a person enters a college, engineering college, or any other kind of technical course, it will be 4 years that he is going to graduate and get into the workforce environment. It is almost impossible to predict what the situation is going to be 4 years hence. So how do we constantly have the ability to configure and reconfigure the knowledge, the information, the intelligence and the wisdom that we are imparting to our students so that they are ready for becoming a productive employee the moment they are out of the gate in some sense. So I think these are two things that we probably need to discuss later on in the discussion if time permits. We can also talk about some solutions. I wanted to make sure that we frame the problem from my perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you are logically right that what is being taught in the college cannot be put to the use of industry. Because I do remember, still we have been teaching a number of courses, the DOS, which is almost obsolete for last 12 years. But it is still being taught in MCA and BTech and BE in number of colleges. It is also a fact that once we are going for an education system, we need to plan out a system where there is a tie-up between the industry. Because after all, he has to go to the industry. After all, the basic aim is to earn money and to work in the industry. So the concept of finishing school came basically from that only. Now that can be adapted in the course curriculum also. So we need to make a request to the concerned department or the concerned ministry in the government of India as well as the states, where they have to make a system where there is a course curriculum revision once in, let's say, 2 year, 3 year, because definitely we have to go for that. It is also a fact that we have to now, the time has come where the government of India and other states are also very open for PPP, public-private partnership. Now we have to work out on that mechanism because it is very difficult for the government also to create a infrastructure which cannot be put to use. So definitely sharing of resources, that means sharing of experts between the training institution and the industry, and then making the course curriculum adaptable by the industry. Need to be done. I am thankful to you. Thanks. I will request Shri Kumar, retired Chief General Manager BSNL, to share his views and observations on how to go about for the capacity building in the field of IT sector.
Thanks, Ashwini. Good afternoon, friends. In fact, on the subject of human resource capacity building for IT sector, I am optimistic. I had been heading BSNL in Bihar also for around 4 years, and at the human resource level, I find there is no dearth. They are capable, and after retiring as CGM, I'm now associated with IIT Patna as adjunct professor. I find the quality of students there are excellent. So from that point of view, I feel that there are enough HR and capacity available. Of course, I agree that for any typical type of job, everybody requires maybe a small capsule of training, audit training to deploy in that field. But I feel the capacity is available. The NIT, IIT, BIT, there are 3, 4, 5 engineering colleges apart from the government. In the government, there are private sector also. But one thing which I am finding is critically, most of them, they prefer to get jobs outside. They go for the job outside because, number one, the jobs are not available. And if given a choice, the salary package and are the same, they prefer to do the job in Bangalore or Chandigarh or Noida, Greater Noida, where there are better environment, where they can, there are residential buildings, proper roads, clubs, all those facilities are there. So that is one aspect which is also very important to retain the capacity, to retain the human resources in Bihar, so that they can be deployed and redeployed over here. This is one. Now when we say IT sector, we need not be always focused towards that all the capacity requirement is only, has only to be trained or excellent in IT only. No. There are many areas which can support IT. Let us say if to develop a program, first a person has to study the existing process, the procedure, make an algorithm, how the workflow happens, and what are the changes which can be done. All these things does not require much IT, but is also a prelude or a necessary input for IT. Those capacity building are also available over here. So I feel that the moment we say that IT HR, it does not necessarily mean that all of them should be trained in IT only, should be in electronic and software only. That is also there, but apart from that, the other part and the logistics are also important. But I have positivity, and I feel that there are no dearth of HR capacity in Bihar in the field of IT. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay Kumar sir. You rightly said that job opportunities is one of the reasons which is making youth from the Bihar to migrate to other states. So basically, we have to create more job opportunities to retain the brain, the state within the state. It is also a fact that we only don't need, we are definitely in need of IT experts or electronics experts, but this is not the only demand of time. Besides this, we need subject experts also, because let's say chemical industry, process industry. If you have got a chemical process engineer who understands the PIDs and controller and feedbacks, definitely IT component can be plugged in. Because say IT industry is an industry which is working as a service provider to multiple industries, where we do understand the technology of the typical industry, convert it into an automation component. So logically, what he said is perfectly right, that besides IT and electronics, we also need subject experts and in different industries. It is also a fact that we need to develop soft skills for enhancing their employability, because to enhance their employability, it is very mandated that he is able to meet the expectations of the industry. So he has to have some basic knowledge of the soft skills. I am thankful to you for this. Now I will request Mr. Srinivas, Director Intel South Asia, to give his observations and recommendations.
Thank you, Sharma. So good afternoon, everyone. At the outset, I would like to congratulate and thank to Government of Bihar as well as Vetron for choosing a very contemporary topic of skills for the IT industry. It's a very, very pressing issue, and we need to pay an urgent attention to that. So according to my view, capacity building in the IT industry has to be approached from at two angles. It's a two-pronged approach. One is, we have on one side, we have the large IT-enabled services, which is more than 100 billion in revenue, which is growing at 12 to 15%. Huge opportunity for employability in that sector. That sector almost employs 1 million people, and it has actually seen a okay, being testimony to the growing prosperity of the middle class across India, including Bihar. So those skills are one of the things, but the problem is there is a study that, around 30% of the engineers produced out of the country are not actually employed inside. So there is a tremendous opportunity that we need to pay attention in the colleges for building up capacity for making them employable in this IT sector, right? So in a way, that contributes to the economy, that contributes to the growth of the state by doing that. The second approach is the domestic IT industry. Although the exports and the IT-enabled services also is growing, the domestic IT industry also is in a very nascent stage, right? We have miles to go. The PC penetration in India is less than 10%. There is a huge digital divide that we are talking about in these forums, where IT has to make some meaning to the development of the state, right? There is no doubt that IT actually can help the development of the state in various ways, right? Whether it is delivery of services, whether it is education or health. So the issue there, this is the second angle that I'm talking about, is again the availability of the skills to make the technology available to the people. People like Beltron are doing a phenomenal job in the e-governance. I'm sure that's one of the pressing issues for them is the availability of the manpower to handle those huge projects in the e-governance and education and healthcare, etc. So it's not necessary that somebody has to go from Patna or Gaya to Bangalore or US. It's also you need development of the people here, to serve the domestic IT industry, where government is a major provider, major contributor to the industry across India. So I guess that some of the states have undertaken initiatives to address this issue. There is, I'm not sure, I think there is a separate e-governance training module that is getting imparted by the Department of IT. I think that's something that states like Bihar can actually, can tune in their own way for the benefit of the state. The second way is, the state, a lot of government schools are also imparting the IT skills at the high school level, so that the programming, etc., so that they get, when they come out of the school, they actually get prepared themselves for the employment. I think that's a big opportunity for the state and for the people to get employed in the domestic IT industry. According to me, the second problem is the domestic IT industry is much more critical right now, because that actually benefits the people, that actually impacts the people. The work you do here is actually, provides a larger impact across the rural areas, etc. So we need to pay attention to both the aspects as we focus on the IT-enabled services and the employability there, and also the domestic IT industry cannot be, the skills for the domestic IT industry cannot lag behind. I think we need to have a parallel effort there. Because the skills and capacity building requirements of these two areas is different. On one side, IT-enabled industry is talking about cloud, big data, Internet of Things, whereas the domestic IT industry wants to provide the basic IT services to the people. So the skills and the capacity building requirements, the soft skills are actually different. I think we need to plan for both these areas equally well. So that's my view. Thank you, Sharma.
Yeah, what Srinivas said is perfectly right, that we have a requirement based on clientele which we are handling. One part is the technology part, which we have been handling, where we need highly qualified persons well aware with the technology. Maybe let's say cloud computing, maybe someone with multimedia, designing, development, like that. Another component is the domestic industry. Especially when we are saying domestic industry, we are targeting e-governance projects. Because what is happening is, once we are talking about e-governance, I think the myth in the market is that e-governance means it is an activity of the IT department. But frankly speaking, it is not so. When we are saying e-governance, and if you read the word e-governance also, E is small and governance G is big. Okay, so that itself indicates that e-governance basically nothing, a mechanism of providing decision making, mechanism of implementing the decision being taken by the government using the ICT, which means there is a 10 to 15% component of the technology. Balance component basically comes from the government. So when we are talking about manpower requirement or human skill development for e-governance project or domestic project, we have to take care of that component part, where he may have little bit knowledge about the IT component, he may know how to handle the computer, he may know how to dial up a system, how to go for that. But what he needs to know is the process of getting a certificate. That's the demand. Whereas when we are talking about the international market or the design market or the technology market, there is least bothered how system is being executed, he is more interested in the technology part. It is also a fact that as on date, the market survey says that 30% of the youth coming out from the engineering colleges is only ready for employability. It's a survey being made by number of industries, and they have also come out with an idea. Somebody says 25%, somebody says 40%, 35%. But the figure is roughly saying that if you have to put someone to the job employability, it is the 30% manpower which is coming out from the college, and that too they are basically employable because of their IQ, aptitude, and understanding the problem. But because I do feel personally, teaching someone how to drive a motorcycle on blackboard is very simple. It is a 2-minute job. Take a motorcycle, plug in the key, press the button, it will run. But you give the key to him and say, drive the motorcycle on the road, he may take 2 days, 3 days, 5 days. When I passed out, I used to say, repairing a telephone is nothing, yaar. In college we have learned, connect this, it will work. But I do remember, I took at least 3 to 4 hours to understand how it is being connected. So what I mean is, definitely, we need 2 different type of skill development courses or capacity building courses, one for the technology, another for the meeting the domestic requirement. And similarly, we have to build up a skill development component also in our course curriculum. So that's the demand of the time. Thank you. Anyone, any question, please?
Mike.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I hear a lot about education, and I hear about a lot about jobs, creating jobs here. One of the biggest questions I have is, how do you stop the brain drain? There's a huge brain drain. There's a huge brain drain here. You train people, and they leave Bihar. I mean, the idea of a hub would definitely create new jobs, and if the state actually subsidizes those jobs, yes, I can see people staying. But until that happens, I think we're going to continue to experience brain drain. We're training people to leave the state. Isn't that true?
See, I think very good question. How to stop the brain drain from the state? I think already Kumar Sahab has already answered this question. What he said is basically, see, in the young generation, I do remember when I passed out from the college in 1980s, that time we were never thinking that we'll have a mobile or a telephone less than 10 years. Because getting a telephone connection from BSNL was a big tough job. You can get anything, but you can't get a telephone connection. DPC is non-feasible, always. Although I am also from ITS services. Secondly, getting a car, it was a dream. But the way things are changing in the society and the culture is coming up, everybody thinks of going for a car or a vehicle or a mobile or a telephone or maybe house within a span of 5 to 10 years of the service. So now how to make this available? In case that is made available to the youth who is passing out from the college, who is ready for job within the state, which include good infrastructure, good schools for the kids, good place to roam about, good hotels, or maybe some good grounds, good clubs. So I think this is one of the way. See, you can't stop anyone who is interested to go away. But in case you provide the same infrastructure which you have got in Bangalore, or let's say in Delhi, or let's say in New York, then I think it is possible that we may retain some of the manpower. I am not guaranteeing that we can retain. Secondly, of course, a good salary. You can't compare the salary which he is getting in Bangalore, in Patna, but definitely at least 70% of that, because 30% he will save by staying in his local area. He can get it done. I think this can be one of the options, and it is the state to decide how they can ensure that. Maybe they can come out with a policy saying that whomsoever will coming out from the college within the state, stay here in the state, they will be given 5% bookings in the housing board houses. I mean, some policy can be worked out so that they have a feeling. For example, you know what is happening is once you grow and once you complete 10 years of service and the company declares that after 12 years you will become entitled for 2 foreign trips, you think, okay, let me be with my company for 2 years more, let me have some more foreign trips. So some incentive can be put in for the youth who is coming out from the colleges within the Bihar or who belongs to Bihar, saying that if you work for 3 years in the state, you will be given this incentive, maybe some concession in the house, or maybe some incentive in terms of excise, something, whatever. So that state has to work out. But definitely to retain the manpower, to ensure that it is a hub of the IT, some policy has to be there for retention of the manpower which is coming out, because now we have got very good college, IIT is there, NIT is there, NIELIT is studying center, number of private colleges is there, BITS Ranchi is there. So I think we have to work out a policy on that part. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Very valid point, providing incentives for them to stay back, etc. I think the other challenge for the brain drain, thank you for bringing up the question, is, why should one go from Patna to US? One of the brightest kids goes there and contributes to that economy rather than here, right? I think one of the things, the challenges here in India is we don't pay much attention to the domestic consumption of IT. The consumption of IT, like say the broadband, the digital infrastructure, 90% of the people don't have it, right? So with the result, the opportunities also get limited. The industries like SMEs, small and medium businesses, a lot of businesses, they are not adopting as much. They are not on the cutting edge of technology as some of the US companies are. So when you actually grow the domestic IT industry, when you increase the consumption inside the country, I think that has a multiplier impact in creating that ecosystem required for creating more jobs in India itself. I think that way the country gets benefited, the people get benefited, and of course the employment gets better.
I may add one. To retain a executive, apart from that, the company must adopt the policy which are presently being adopted by companies in US. Say, for example, not only keep the person as your employee, make your employee as if he also have some shares in your company, so that he also have an interest in your company and he also develops. So apart from the government doing the job of creating infrastructure, the clubs, all those things, the company also must reward him by developing along with him. Otherwise, this attrition going to other companies, this had been happening. In fact, all the private sectors, not only in telecom and IT are one of the worst hit, where almost every 3 years there are attritions. The fellow changes one company to another company. And not only that, the moment he changes, he takes along with him all the expertise, everything it is in his mind, and it is a big loss to the parent company. But that is that. So the company has got to think ways and means how to retain this thing. But the point remains that in the context of Bihar, I consider that the HR available and the company, there should be companies over here to give them job and also to ensure that they also grow with the job. Thank you.
Sir, may I be permitted to take a question? Because it's very, very relevant and pertinent. And pertinent to the entire board sitting here. More from a practical aspect, sir, we have been looking, I'm talking on behalf of Government of Bihar, that we have been looking to create training setup for high technology areas. Yes, there are enough institutes available in Patna to give training and finishing school courses, professional courses for low technology area in IT. But for high technology area, there are very few amenities available, rather very few good colleges available right now in Patna or in Bihar anywhere. Can I offer that Beltron as a company and Bihar government as a patronage, all of you are heading some institution, Educomp is very big in content development. As I have a little earlier, I have told that Bihar government wants to focus on only one facet of IT technology, and that is multimedia technologies. And we want to champion this, and we have a vision, Bihar government has a vision, that down the line 2 to 3 years, we should establish Bihar as the multimedia capital of not only India, of the world. And for that, a lot of talent pool trained in these content development and multimedia technologies will be required. May I request all of you to extend a helping hand to Government of Bihar, look forward for some ways and means of partnering with maybe Beltron as an executing agency of Government of Bihar, and come forward in next few weeks' time to set up such courses. I can definitely try to get a huge subsidy from government, especially for multimedia courses. Extremely good courses taught by extremely good faculties, brought all over across the globe to Patna, and start such courses maybe for 100 students first, and then 100 students, and then we keep on increasing. As MD NIELIT sir has tried to address a little earlier, that they are trying to plan some courses.
No. I will correct it out. See, you raised a very good question.
Okay.
Already our Calcutta center, where we have got a team size of 200 employees, we have already planned out, worked out and finalized the course curriculum, where the course curriculum has been designed by experts from the industry, not from the academia. Of course, there are 2-3 academicians also from IIT Mumbai. We have already finalized that course. We have launched it also. We are opening up the admissions shortly. They will be done through online only. Now, to train my manpower, they have been already deputed in IIT Mumbai, because this course curriculum has been designed in association with industry, as well as faculty and head of the department computer science from IIT Mumbai. We will be very eager to start that course immediately here, because already my 18 faculties are here in Mumbai. Day before yesterday I was there only. Whether we are signing an MOU with IIT Mumbai saying that whomsoever will pass out, but these courses are 1-year course and 2-year course. Like what we have a O-level in software, A-level in software, they will be O-level multimedia and animation, A-level multimedia and animation. And already we have signed the MOU for that those who will pass out will be given certificate jointly by NIELIT and IIT Mumbai. Already we have started moving into that direction, because I do understand, as on date in the country itself, there exists a market of $1.2 billion in the world in the multimedia and animation itself. It's a big business.
So that's what. So can I expect from NIELIT that the first lot of trained people should start a course in Patna?
Yeah, we can start it out. There is no issue.
Because I have to create the talent pool.
I do agree.
Then only companies will start moving in. We have to create a talent pool.
No.
And may I request Vijay Kumar sir that he should look forward of defining some mechanism that in IIT Patna, the final year students, apart from their regular academic curriculum, they should be specializing in these multimedia courses, so that very strong stuff comes out of college prepared to serve industry right in Patna. So this also we can really think of, sir. And from Educomp, because content development is a very important and focus area. So I was just trying to request, because Educomp has a strong presence in the educational segment of multimedia content. And I have shown you that we have already taken first step towards multimedia development for packaging it in our tablets, and we have pathway to go towards educational contents also. So cannot you start some multimedia, content development center in Patna, maybe starting with 200 seaters or 300 seaters. We will try to provide from Government of Bihar all kind of amenities to you, because then only there will be an ecosystem created around the multimedia technologies, which will be able to realize my dreams that down the line 2 years, 3 years, if this becomes a hub center. Over to you.
I'd just like to make a few comments. So
Yeah.
firstly, it is very inspiring and very motivating to directly hear from you. And in the first session, when you were making a presentation, I was sitting in the exactly where you are sitting right now. And immediately it came to my head that firstly, I was not aware that the government of Bihar is offering these facilities. So thank you for making us aware of these incentives. And I watched the presentation very carefully. And I think that the package of incentives that you have put together, to my knowledge, there is no state in India that is offering so much. That is point number one.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Secondly, now these incentives are in the form of either capital subsidy or the provision of space. But the topic that we are discussing is about the human resources. So my biggest concern would be, and the first thing that came to my mind is, so can we think of either creating a new content development center here to take advantage of, the cost of talent should be lower, plus the incentives and facilities that you are offering is second one. But then the question came to my mind, fine, even if we decide to make that investment in some mode, format and fashion, where am I going to get the talent pool? So I think in your question and your remarks, you have really hit the nail on the head. If there is a pathway, if the industry can see that yes, there is going to be some strategy for the hard assets, the tangible side, building, internet and so on, and also something on the intangible side, which is your human capital, human resources, then I think you have a perfect strategy in place, and I can assure you from the dais that we would be very keen. In fact, we look forward to a very business-oriented dialogue with you to see how we can immediately think of doing something. And it has been definitely worthwhile to come here and see the enthusiasm and the commitment of all the officials and everybody towards really taking Bihar forward. And I thank you for that.
Wonderful. Mr. Shantanu, actually, the best part is that at least one pivotal point we already have in the form of Dr. Barry, who would be setting up his multimedia centers, expanding his multimedia labs in next 1 to 2 years' time. And it will have huge consumption of trained engineers for multimedia technology. So if we have, even today, we have around 2,000 engineers coming out of engineering colleges of Bihar every year. So if we pick up at least 500 of them or 300 of them and train them in these technologies, and a ready stuff for Dr. Berry will be available, and they will be trained, and those will be real high technology area of working. Digital image processing kind of area of working, cutting it, and therefore the dreams of Bihar could be realized.
No, certainly.
Thank you.
Also, one very quick comment. I know we have run out of time. I think I was quite also taken in by the fact that in your presentation you highlighted that your focus area is going to be multimedia. And I think this whole concept that, because IT industry is like an ocean. There are 500 different verticals and specialization in IT industry, and you cannot be master of every field as a state from day one. So the fact that you have highlighted and you have chosen one niche area and said in this area we want to become number one, I think is something that we must really applaud.
Thank you.
One question. I am Dr. Kumar. I am heading School of Engineering at IIT Patna. So, in continuation to Sinha's comment that yes, IIT Patna would like to be part of this that initiative of training multimedia or anything such that, because we are talking about ICT, and well, a lot of IT initiatives have been taken, but when it comes to communication technology, definitely there are a lot of grey areas that need to be addressed. And IIT Patna, in the span of 5 years, we are doing a lot in terms of information technology, in terms of communication. We have more than 20 crore projects right now running, R&D projects in IIT Patna. And with the help of Government of India and Government of Bihar, we are going to set up a incubation center also, where a lot of incubatees, that young engineers, they will be trained, they will be groomed to so that they can, from the idea to the product, they can develop and they can go to startups. And in continuation of that, my question to Mr. Srinivas from Intel is that we are talking a lot about this academia-industry collaboration, right? And this is one area where the institutes in Bihar are lagging, right? even in NIT Patna, although it is the older institute, I'm not seeing any industry collaboration with NIT Patna. IT Patna being established in 2008, do we have any scheme for institutes like in Bihar, where we can actively collaborate for the development of ICT and IT in particular?
So very relevant. Thank you, sir. Thanks, Professor, for bringing that up. The industry-academia collaboration is very key for India. So we have a relationship with almost more than 300 engineering colleges across India, and we, at the outset, will be very keen to have that dialogue with the Bihar colleges as well, to get them, in terms of faculty training on the latest technologies. We operate, our interests are in mainly in 3 areas. Of course, we are a chip company and a hardware company, right? So there are 3 areas. You mentioned the incubation center, the entrepreneurship. The second area is the curriculum side, especially the hardware curriculum and multi-core curriculum, because as we know, the industry era is moving into a kind of a multi-core curriculum now. So getting those curriculum inputs and packaging it and training your faculty and making a courseware out of it, etc. That is on the curriculum side. The third is innovation and entrepreneurship, especially on the Internet of Things, right? So there is a lot of interest in that area. The world is going to be more smarter and smarter, right? So we are actually developing innovation kits based on the Atom, the new thing, and we also recently come out with a new board called Quark, very low-powered systems, based on which you can actually innovate a number of things, both for applications inside Bihar and as well as for also bringing that innovative instinct across the students and the faculty in the colleges. So we'll be keen to actually have the dialogue with you. So I'll come and we can.
Thank you, Mr. Srinivas. In fact, as far as IT Patna is concerned, we are there for this incubation.
Right.
We are going to set up a center of excellence for innovation in this hardware design. In fact, we are planning to set up a center of innovation for medical devices, low-cost medical devices with the telemedicine facilities.
Excellent.
And regarding this curriculum, definitely we learned a lot about Intel chips.
Right.
And we have this curriculum on this hardware development, and definitely we would like to have collaboration with Intel at the earliest. We don't want to now be at the loser side. We want to have it at the earliest. I would like to meet you again.
Sure, we'll do that.
I think looking to the time constraint. Any more questions? Yeah.
मैं क्योंकि ग्रामीण परिवेश से आता हूँ, इसलिए ग्रामीण बच्चे जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं नया सेगमेंट उसकी बातें कर रहा हूँ। इसके लिए मैंने एक प्रपोजल भी जो हमारे बोर्ड कमेटी के सदस्य हैं उनके पास एक पीपीटी भेजा है कि सरकार अगर आपसी कोऑर्डिनेशन डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट में कर लेती है तो बिना कोई खर्च किए हुए पूरे बिहार में 10,000 कौशल विकास केंद्र स्थापित किए जा सकते हैं और उन बच्चों को पढ़ाने का भार भी बिहार सरकार को नहीं उठाना है, जैसा कि आपने बताया सर पीपीपी मॉडल के बारे में। और दूसरी बात आपने रखी ये जो स्कॉलरशिप जो स्टार स्कीम के तहत सरकार दे रही है, तो सिर्फ इस्टेब्लिश करना है उसे स्किल डेवलपमेंट सेंटर। एमएसएमई की जो योजना है उसके अनुसार 10 लाख रुपए तक अप टू 10 lakhs without collateral security the loan can be granted and they will get subsidy up to 35% also. There is need of coordination between human resource, HRD ministry, Ministry of IT, Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Finance also, so that this can be implemented. Actually, I have tried myself my best to different departments. They told me that, oh, it is related with the IT industry. You please go to the IT industry. oh, you are talking about the education, you go to HRD ministry. This is the case. What is my request, sir? I want to use this platform to give this message to the society that from the government side, they should make a body where it can be discussed how it can be implemented, and that angel funds for the MSME, they have to deposit just 5 to 10%. It means that we can use this angel funds to support the industrializations. Thank you.
जो मैं समझ पाया आप जो कहना चाह रहे हैं, आप ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि बिहार के यूथ के अंदर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलप की जाए, क्योंकि जो आप स्कीम बता रहे हैं उसके तहत ये है कि एमएसएमई की तरफ से 10 लाख रुपए का एक लोन मिलता है, जिसमें से जो भी पार्टिसिपेंट और कैंडिडेट होता है उसको करीब 5 से 10% खुद का कंट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ता है, बाकी वो किस्तों में चुकाता है। और जो स्टार स्कीम के तहत यदि वो कोर्स करके इसको चलाता है तो स्टार स्कीम का भी पर्पज सॉल्व हो जाता है और उसको 10,000 रुपये वहाँ से रिम्बर्स हो जाते हैं। ये एक राज्य सरकार का परिप्रेक्ष्य में आएगा। मैं अतुल जी यहीं बैठे हैं और भी सीनियर ऑफिसर बैठे हैं, उनसे ये निवेदन कर सकता हूँ कि आज सुबह एक स्कीम जो प्रेजेंटेशन देख रहे थे हम पॉलिसी पे, उसमें सिंगल विंडो एक कंसेप्ट था जो कि हर स्टेट में लागू है। मेरे हिसाब से यदि आप ये प्रपोजल सिंगल विंडो के माध्यम से पेश करें, आई डोंट थिंक कि कोई भी डिपार्टमेंट ये कहेगा कि साहब आईटी का लगेगा, इंडस्ट्री का है, इंडस्ट्री वाला कहेगा एजुकेशन का है, क्योंकि सिंगल विंडो का कंसेप्ट का पर्पज यही है कि एंटरप्रेन्योर एक जगह जाके यदि कोई प्रोजेक्ट प्रोफाइल सबमिट करता है ऑटोमेटिकली वो मल्टीप्लाई होती रहेगी। अब इशू इसमें ये आएगा कि आपके पास वो कहाँ से आएंगे जो बच्चे जिनको आप ये इंस्टॉल कराना चाहते हो, क्योंकि देखिए बिजनेस करने के लिए रिस्क लेने की फैक्टर बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है। तो आज हम और आप भी टाटा बिरला होते हैं, ठीक है ना, हमारा ऐसा नहीं है कि टाटा बिरला बहुत ज्यादा एजुकेटेड रहे होंगे किसी जमाने में, इस व्हाट आई फील सो, बट दे हैव टेकन अ रिस्क which is one of the biggest factor. I don't know how many of us can take a risk because running a business is totally different than doing a service in an industry. बहुत अंतर है। आप और हम हर आदमी नहीं बन सकता, बट आपका ख्याल अच्छा है। डेफिनेटली अतुल जी यहीं बैठे हैं, मैं उनसे बात भी करूंगा और आई विल टॉक टू सिन्हा साहब ऑल्सो। साहब दिस इज अ वेरी गुड प्रपोजल, इट कैन वर्क आउट एंड देयर इज नो एक्सपेंडिचर टू द यूथ ऑफ द बिहार ऑल्सो। थैंक यू।
I have a small question with Mr. Srinivas from Intel. So we are hearing about that college excellence program we have. Mr. Pritam has also spoken about that. But now we want time frame. We don't want to lose that. There are industries. The way Bihar is going, it's not. It's being. You all are seeing the way we are going ahead. We have started late, but we are skipping fast. So now we want time frame approach when Intel can start this college excellence program, because our strength is human resource, right, and I think it will be the cheapest and the youngest in the entire world. Right. So we have done our SWOT analysis, and that is the reason why we are very punctual and we are very particular that we are going to promote our state as a multimedia development hub, because that has been the progress in the past, and we have some talent. So now it's industry call to take that at the earliest, because we have limited colleges, that's true, but still we are not able to make them industry ready. Right. So how fast and how soon we can work as a consortium with Beltron, industry and some academia. He is eager to come with you. Other central universities are eager to come with it. I am writing time and again for the college excellence program. I know there is a college excellence program, but I am unable to connect these. Sure. And I think this is the call at the central level also. 6th and 7th of this month, Honorable President has called this Vice Chancellor's meeting at all central universities. Vice Chancellor meet, and he was so particular. He has called even few of the industries and asked them to sign a MOU straight away with the academia and take the thing ahead. Right. So I think now it's your call. We have done our homework, right, and now we have to be move in a time frame. So how fast?
No. I compliment your passion and focus on a few critical things rather than many things, right? As Shantanu has pointed out. I think that's a great thing. We'll do it immediately. I'll have my higher education team come to you immediately I will connect with you to take
There is a huge requirement in the higher education. If you delay, you will get deferred and then it will get denied.
Right, exactly.
So
exactly.
now there is no time.
Yeah. This is the time. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, shall we close now?
Yeah.
I think we should appreciate that the Bihar government is actually very transparent in extending their invitation to the private players. And generally we see these discussions and these conversations in the closed-end conferences, but this is perhaps, I think, the first time when we can have such a transparent conversation among the government and the private players. Now, since we are running out of time, I would like to invite Shri Sinha ji, MD Beltron, to felicitate the dignitaries on the dais. Can we have a huge round of applause? Starting with Dr. Ashwini Kumar Sharma ji. Starting with Dr. Ashwini Kumar Sharma ji. Shri Shantanu Prakash, Educomp Solutions Limited. Shri Vijay Kumar ji. Shri Srinivas ji. Thank you so much, sir. We are quickly starting with the next session as we are running out of time. I hope all